Hello, this is a video for you to see how to use this application, not for testers, basically for the native base team. So I'll guide you through the step-by-step processes in order how to achieve this thing. The things that have been changed is basically the Expo version has been updated, so you need to delete node modules from both Rider app and the application as well. So there should be two applications. I've launched and installed the node modules and updated. So you need to run all these things. You need to run the admin panel, and the commands are the same. You need to type npm start. Another thing that you need to do is basically you need to change your IP address. You need to give your own system IP address. In the Rider folder, you need to change the IP address in app.json in both Rider and the customer app as well. After doing these changes, the commands are same as previously. And you need to run the API, the admin panel, the Rider app, and the customer app. All these commands are commands are simple, and you need to type npm install and npm start delete the node modules. Another thing that has been changed is that Riders tab is introduced. You can make a Rider. You can basically make the availability on and off, which should reflect in the orders tab, which I should tell you in a moment. And another thing that you need to do is John Doe 007 is the name. You can see N123 is the password. You can see that in the Riders table. All these things are provided to you. As said before, you can make the Rider as well. Another thing that has been implemented is the chat feature. You need to write a message, for example, if you want to test it, and I'll reply you back from over here. Another thing that needs to be tested is for notification in iPhone devices. I haven't tested that before, so that needs to be thoroughly tested. Let's make an order, and the flow is same like before. The only thing is that is changes. It's now supports, for example, dynamic content, so it shouldn't be a problem. Payment should be working as same like before. I'm making a cash on delivery. You should see the notification over here in your desktop as well. If you don't, let me know. That's a bug if you don't see that. The tracking order right now, it shouldn't reflect if you change the status. That's not an issue. We are going to change that once we merge it into master, because I don't want to tinker the live data provided with the app right now in its current state. You should see the order over here in the dashboard right now. For example, we have received this order. You have an option to accept it and reject it. If you accept it, you need to give a reason. If you reject it, if you accept it, another panel should open, which should give you multiple features. For example, which rider you want to assign to. If you assign to a rider, it should reflect that. It should be reflected in your Rider app. For example, we see our order over here right now. You can change the order status from here as well, and in the Rider app as well. If you change the order status in the Rider app, which I'll show you in a moment, it should. For example, let me change the status over here to picked. Now the thing you need to note is that it won't reflect, the change won't reflect over here immediately. we have implemented polling which should take max 1 minute to change. And this happens in the rider only if you make changes in the rider app as well. So if you want to check out if it's not changed under 1 minute, you could basically try it out with a stopwatch, compare it. If it doesn't change under 1 minute, we've implemented polling, we haven't used any sockets or stuff like that. So if it doesn't change immediately, that's a bug, you need to tell me about it. And yes, the dashboard should be mobile responsive as well. I've tested that out, and the changes won't reflect over here in the tracking order in the customer dashboard, in the customer app. It will happen after we merge it into master. We need to do few changes because I don't want to tinker with the live data right now. Also, some small things that we also have made is, for example, look, now it's changed under 1 minute. Its status has been changed to pay. Similarly, you can also change the status to delivered, and it should reflect over here as well. So all these things need to be checked out. For example, if you change the availability of rider to none, you shouldn't see that in the drop down as well. These simple things need to be tested out. I have tested out, and if you change it over here in the dashboard, if you change the order status, it should reflect immediately. It shouldn't take 1 minute. That happens only in the rider app. Let me know if one important thing which I'm not sure if it works is the push notification in iOS physical device. That needs to be checked out. If you get notification in simulators, notification don't work, so you need to try it in the physical device.